exclusive closed-door webinar to a highly curated audience who represent mutual funds and asset management companies. And today in this micro masterclass that we are hosting, we're going to talk about the art of optimizing returns on every folio number that you have out there, and how do we convert these numbers into real customer investor identities. While you already have the data gold mine, we have some interesting stories around how you can transform this data into more business. Today, we have some exciting speakers who come from the industry. Our first speaker is Mr. Venkatgiri. He's the Chief Data Officer at Kfin. He comes with 25 years of experience across many global companies like Yahoo, LinkedIn, GE, and he specializes in data and analytics. Early in his career, which is interesting, with IRCTC, he was responsible for handling data and implementation and implementing analytics for the entire Indian railway database. So we have a data analytics maestro with us today. So if you audience have any questions, please do put them in during the Q&A session. And in his current role, where he's representing Kfin as the Chief Data Officer, he's setting the AI vision and strategy at an organizational level, and he's building analytical products with key business insights, and which can be deployed at scale. And he comes with a great understanding of machine learning algorithms and keen interest in the latest trends around the field of artificial intelligence. And most of all, if we have readers among our audience, he has also authored a book which is available on Amazon, and we'll be dropping in the link of to that book in our chat window soon. It is titled Practical Enterprise Data Insights, Handle Data-Driven Challenges in an Enterprise Big Data Lake. So you will find this link in case you're interested. You can purchase it from Amazon. And our second speaker, Mr. Murali Krishna, he's the Director BFSI at FirstHive. And he also comes with 25 years of rich experience in the consultative selling and enterprise business applications and services, both in geographies like India and UAE. He also brings a very deep understanding of new technology solutions and products. And prior to joining FirstHive, Mr. Murali has worked with global companies like Oracle, IBM, i3, Infotech, and so on and so forth. He specializes specifically in sales for the marketing cloud solutions for large B2C enterprises. Having said that, we will open the forum by hearing out thoughts of Mr. Venkatgiri around the challenges faced among the mutual fund marketers, and how the mutual fund industry is heavily dependent on data. Over to you, Mr. Venkatgiri.
Thank you, guys. As Anishchala has introduced me, I came from a data background. So while working in the industry, we set up multiple lakes, basically, in my whole career, wherein the intent was to bring in the data together and build a right kind of analytics around analytics or insights from this data. And apart from that, we also built the reporting and BI and all those stuff but we had to bring the data together. With cloud coming into picture, it became very easy and very effective. With all those PaaS components and other components, it's very straightforward. These days, we call it a serverless technology. We just have to have a set of storage, and on top of it, we spin up instances and take it forward. One of the latest examples, I would say, from my personal the stuff latest we did is the brokerage, which was being paid for. It took like 3-4 days post month end. We we could convert into every day. These examples, why I'm telling with the coming of cloud, and the processing time has reduced, and we are able to build real-time reporting, real-time analytics, and all those stuff. Coming back to the mutual fund stuff, which we have been working. I have been working in that area. One of our clients, I'll not name them, has his expertise in ETF. So when we talk about ETF, organization or AMC is working in having the right kind of products. When they are focused on ETF, they will be more interested on the people who are more equity focused than a debt focused. Now the question is, how do we understand that persona? How do we understand that this set of asset classes can be focused to these set of people? Where do we, and how do we build these kind of analytics? There are multiple asset classes. In my case, I'm more interested towards equity, those kind of asset classes. But if you think I have invested, my investment is like 10% in mutual fund, and I have other kind of investments. So how do I identify these kind of people who can be focused, and who can be a campaign can be built with these kind of people to push them to invest in these kind of funds, so particular kind of funds. So with the new age technology, and of late I have seen the number of demat accounts are going up, and a lot of like I have of late we have been working with LIC. We are seeing the LIC IPO, these kind of things coming up. There is a lot of demat accounts are getting opened, and a lot of people are trying to invest in these kind of funds. So how do we personalize a campaign? How do we understand that, hey, this person would be more inclined towards equity fund or a debt fund? How do we analyze these are the questions which generally come up. And I work with multiple AMCs. This is the common question across the board. How do I personalize that? See, when I get a lot of campaigns, I get calls, I get SMS, I get mails. And so how do I respond? Do I respond to an email or a phone call or a SMS? How do I decide that AMC, how should it approach me to make a sale? So that is where these kind of CDP kind of platforms which FirstHive is coming up, these work out a lot, and we have been working with them closely to build a platform wherein we can profile a customer or a set of customers into a persona and run those campaigns. So that is where these kind of platforms become very handy. Okay, so with that, I'll stop. I will get into more discussions down the line with all these product demos and all those stuff. We'll take it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Venkatgiri. But in the short, crisp talk that you've given really important insights. And I want to just summarize that for our audience here, is that at the market front, there is a high growth in the number of demat accounts that are being opened, which means there are more and more individuals, just like you and me, sitting everywhere, who are interested to turn themselves into investors and explore different formats of mutual funds that are out there: debt mutual funds, equity mutual funds, growth funds, and so on and so forth. While they come up with their own interests, now the challenge on the mutual fund marketer is to be able to identify whom to sell what, right? And I think that's very interesting insight you brought forth is to be able to identify the asset class and align that asset class to the persona. And for all those who are unaware, Kfin Tech has been almost working with 50% of the mutual funds out there in India. And they're working very closely, to solve the data integration problems out there. And for an interesting personalization and communication problem that you just brought forth, a CDP can offer interesting features like implementing the global threshold communication, wherein you don't frustrate your investors with deep communication, but there is a sane journey orchestration that can be put across. Before I speak more about it, I think I want the experts to start talking about it. So over to you, Mr. Murali. We'd love to hear your thoughts on how technology can help mutual fund marketers.
Thank you so much, Nischala. Thank you, Venkat, for that brief introduction and the brief explanation as to what mutual fund industries now need to look at. I would quickly share my screen and I would walk you through a few slides. So I would not take too much of time in introduction of myself. I think which Nischala already did. I am Murali. I come with a lot of experience in making the customers understand the use of applications to better their business. So FirstHive is one of such solutions, which is the customer data platform solutions, which would actually help any organization to improve their marketing return on investment. So the outline of my presentation very quickly would be introductions to FirstHive. This is to the benefit of all the participants, that what is FirstHive, when did we actually enter the market, and what we have been doing in the last few years, and then why CDP, and then the case studies that we have had experience working with some of the mutual fund organizations as well as some of the BFSI organizations. So we started about 5 years ago, and we are very proudly say that the first organically and purpose-built customer data platform in the world. So, there are a lot of other CDP solutions, but they've actually got pivoted from campaign management and CRMs as against, organically and purpose-built CDPs. Number two is in the last 5 years, if you see the slide, it would actually give you a story as to how we have had the journey, that incredible journey, wherein several accelerators and several business analysts have actually recognized our solution capabilities. And just to give you, in the last 2 years, we have been rated as the most comprehensive customer data platform in the world. So our journey has been incredible in the last 5-6 years. Where we started as a few million events processed per quarter and per year, today we stand actually at about 1 billion events processed. So you can actually judge, or you can actually imagine the kind of growth that we have had in the few years that we are in CDP business. So we are actually the largest implemented, 25 plus customer deployments in the country today. So just to give you a visual information on this is that, like I said, most comprehensive CDP for a second year in a row. This is the report given by the CDP Institute, wherein you see the highlighted portion on the screen, which is FirstHive, and on the left side you see about some 30 odd attributes which are being assessed by the institute as to depending on the features, capabilities, and others. We are the application which actually satisfies all the attributes, and we have developed it in such a way that we have been given second year in a row as a most comprehensive solution. Now, I want to talk about a few facts of marketing technology, MarTech landscape. What was it without a CDP? What was it before the CDP? Okay, so today organizations use different tools, different software tools, applications for different purposes in their marketing efforts. Okay, they use SEO, they use tag managers, they use ORMs for their social media management, they use different marketing tools, for example, for bulk SMSs, marketing automations, campaign optimizations, loyalty programs, cookie ID management. Every organization actually uses a lot of these applications to ensure that they get the data from. And if you see on the left side, you have social media management. So every organization is on social media these days. So it could be a Facebook, it could be a Twitter, or it could be an Instagram. So the data is also available there. Okay. And there are a lot of LOB and core applications, like your core banking applications, or a core mutual fund applications, or a core insurance applications, and CRM applications, where the data actually is being mapped into different analytical and insight tools, which is your data warehouses, your business intelligence tools, or web analytics. So this data is already available with every organization. Okay, with all the applications that you use as a marketing technology landscape, even before the CDP came in. So what happened, or what happens if you have a customer data platform is this. So we use actually, if you see this, whatever application that I spoke in the previous slide are actually there in the same slide. Okay, but in the middle, we have our core FirstHive customer data platform. What we do is we use an approach called interaction ID based customer data management. Okay, where the raw interactions of the customers across channels are captured, stored, processed, enriched, and unified to create a single picture of the customer. So earlier, like in the previous slide, you saw data warehouse or a data lakes. So there is the customer data available. But what is the data? The data is purely transactional. Okay. And the CDP, FirstHive CDP, can actually integrate these interactions and the transaction data that is already been available with all these applications that were mentioned here, and create micro segment for the marketeers and target the customers with the personalization messages and hyper personalization messages. Okay, and it actually, if you see this screen, it actually acts as a brain of the entire customer data platform. So if you see on the left side, you have the data coming in, ingestion of the data, and then in the middle we have the churning and the enriching of the data happens in the brain. And then on the right side, you see you have the customer experience orchestration, omni-channel orchestration. The emails can go to the customer, specific emails to the customers. Okay, so we built the CDP for the for each one of the customers. There, we have integrated their existing marketing technology landscape. This was possible because FirstHive CDP is built to coexist with any complex marketing technology landscapes. They'll, every customer of ours have leveraged the CDP to build one view across known and unknown customers and use the enriched profiles for advanced micro segmentation and right targeting. Then all the customers that we work with have realized the value of leveraging the integrated platforms and replace their existing marketing tech automations. Okay, we come with our marketing technology platform also. So you actually deliver a better targeted communication to all your core micro segments that you create from the from the existing customer data that you already have. Once you actually deploy the FirstHive CDP, the customers would be able to run campaigns for use cases that couldn't be delivered before. I will give you a small example. I will give you a small example of, I'll give you a small example of where they were earlier not able to launch a new scheme they were actually doing a broadcast campaign for top tier cities, as those cities would actually generate 60 to 70% of their business. But by using FirstHive CDP, they were now able to actually target right sub-segments, even in non-top tier cities, where they're actually now driving higher return on investment, because they were not able to go to these tier 2 cities before or tier 3 city before. By using a CDP, they were actually able to do a better customer centric experience. I mean, customer is the center for them now by using a CDP. Now, the solution, they're able to drive customer journeys by integrating interactions and transaction data. Like I said, all the mutual fund organizations have already the transaction data. All that you need to get is the interaction data for a better personalization and better targeting of the customers for better returns and better business. Okay, I mean, just to give you an example, if I am already a customer who has already investing in equity scheme, I think this point was also mentioned by Mr. Venkatgiri in his explanation, that if a customer is already in his equity scheme, but did not invest in debt scheme, so how would an organization know? And of those who browsed by a debt scheme on their website, they can today run a real-time campaign based on events generated on their website. So I go to any mutual fund website, they can actually see my interaction data, and then they can stitch my relationship, the existing relationship, and create a better journey for me. Not only this, with the availability of a B2B2C module that we actually created in the CDP, the AMC actually is able to drive branded campaigns through their distributors. What it means is the distributors would leverage the campaign journeys designed by the brand, but apply the contact information of their own customers and drive B2B2C campaigns. So what happens is, earlier that information was not available with the AMC. Now the same can be actually made available. The journeys can be made available to the distributors and can be actually run targeted campaigns for a better business as well as return on investment. Going forward, if you see, we also work with leading private banks, wherein their mortgage loan department has actually started using as partner referral module. They wanted to work with their partners better, and they actually found success in using the CDP. We also work with insurance organizations where your policy renewals can be automated using the CDP, and they get better renewal journeys and better renewals and business coming into the organization. We also work with NBFCs. Okay, currently we also work with NBFCs where it delivers customer engagements. Instead of traditional channels, now they can actually use new channels. Okay, what primarily I meant to focus here in the last 3 slides was, as an organization, we have the experience of understanding the banking, financial services, and insurance and mutual fund industry, and we can work with the organizations that want to work with us and look at the customer data platform usage and get better business and also better return on investment on the investment they do on the marketing channels. Okay, so I would this is my few points that I wanted to address here after Mr. Venkatgiri's explanation on what is the AMC market looking at today because of the growth in the demat accounts or the number of people wanting to invest in mutual funds for their better returns. This is what I wanted to share with you all, and over to Nischala for you to continue on the points that we have actually mentioned.
Thank you for those insights into how a CDP helps mutual fund marketers.
Yep.
But I have some questions, and we'll be happy to have either you or Mr. Venkatgiri answer that. There's so much of compliance that's involved nowadays. SEBI has come up with so many rules. How do you think, and that is also a problem for mutual fund marketers in terms of maintaining secrecy of the folio numbers, the private data of these investors. So how can that be bridged with technology? And apart from, because the very fundamental thing that we need for identification is their PII information, right? But on the other hand, we have compliance that's raising. So how can we bridge this gap with technology?
Yeah, of late we have been working with one of our customers, wherein this is the same point which came up. They don't want to share that data ultimately because they have the profiles of all their businesses.
Sure.
We told, fine, if you don't share, we can run these models on your VPC or on your environment and get the output from there, and we can get those insights and give it to you back. So you need not transfer that data into our VPC or our cloud or our servers. You can simply keep your data in your cloud and we can run your models with you. That's one of the solutions which we thought of. I think Murali, you can add more.
Yeah, see, for that matter, how does the technology help? See, the technology can help only to an extent of creating the journeys, but and the marketeers need to identify the journeys and create it in the solution. Okay, and once the journeys are created, it can be actually automated. So there is no human intervention. If you want to say that, okay, T minus, I want to do a campaign today, which is T+1. Then I want to redo, depending on the campaign's performance, I want to do a T+20 or a T+30, right? So how do you send it? I mean, you don't need somebody to do it for you or some human intervention. The system can actually do it for itself by actually sending those T+15, T+30 campaigns and aid to grow the business for the organization is what I feel the technology's help is that.
Thank you for those responses. We have another question. It says, what are the biggest next big disruptors and trends that mutual fund marketers should be mindful so that they stay ahead of the curve?
See, with the HNI being a key customer, many of the AMCs deploy their tailored program. This might be one of the disruptor. I'm just making it a point. So many of the AMCs need to deploy their tailored program to increase their engagement with the segments. Curate events that are relevant and aligned with the social and cultural interests of that segment, and use that platform to engage with the HNI customers. And another thing is investing in the AI and ML powered software services. In next 5 to 6 years, the automation AI assist will become a core successful marketing software such as CDP. That is what I am seeing. You want to add anything, Mr. Murali?
No, see, with HNI being the key customer segment, what happens is, I mean, I'm talking about one after the other. The big disruptors or trends in mutual fund marketers is what you are asked, right? So with HNIs being the key customer segment earlier, many AMCs were actually doing tailored programs. But now with the number that has actually increased drastically, or it is going into tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cities, I feel a solution with AI ML capabilities such as a CDP, which actually can work in favor of an organization, any AMC can be ahead of the curve by adopting a solution like CDP to actually ensure that they address the requirements of those number of cities, and by understanding the behavior, and then by understanding their current investment schemas, you can be actually reaching those smaller cities and, or smaller, earlier the small time investment customers. By using CDP, you can definitely be ahead of the journey that is going to actually take, like Mr. Venkatgiri mentioned, LIC's IPO is coming, so everybody wants to know open demat so that they can invest in LIC and things like that, right? So a solution like CDP can help an AMC to build that particular micro segment to target the customers in such a way, even before something happens, they're already there. Okay. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, those are some really interesting insights. So I'm sure mutual fund companies already have their data layer and their machine learning algos put in place. But the point is, how do they start activating it, right? How do they start putting it to good use and actually break them down into segments and start selling the right product to the right type of investor? I think that's where that kind of intelligence is what is bridged by a customer data platform. And, it's an interesting story. My own personal investment story into mutual fund would be very different from my cousin who is just started a new job, or, another friend who's living in tier 3 or tier 4, wherein they have different agenda, financial goals. So to be able to capture all those softer details via web interactions, the banking app interactions, and social media signals, I think that will be an interesting holistic view that a mutual fund marketer can get out of the technology that they deploy, and that sort of a single view customer that the marketer can get is a very, very dependable advantage for them in gaining further intelligence into selling the right product to the right person.
Yeah, correct, very true. But let me also add here. See, the question you asked is, how can an AMC stay ahead of the curve, right? I mean, how can they be ready for the market? Even before something new comes into the market? How can they be having all the information, right? During my presentation, if you have noticed, I have mentioned that transactional data is already available with every AMC, right? So how do you enrich the data? Okay, I mean, like you said, you're already investing in certain AMCs, right? But those AMCs, do they have your data that you go onto their website? You're not logging in, so there is no interaction data. So all the AMCs who are currently using a lot of transactional data, to be in the curve, they should actually start looking at very actively or aggressively, how do I get this interaction data of the customers who come on to my portals, my digital property, start enriching the profiles that could this be Nischala, or could this be Murali, or could this be Mr. Venkatgiri? I mean, you get to that intelligence, which is on the tools like CDP, which will help you and ensure that you be ready to the market to do campaign management, and you just do the campaign management, and by the time a new thing comes, you're already there. Okay, a new thought comes into the market, you're already there. You have tons of data with transactional data as well as interaction data. You can actually do a better marketing campaign and a better return on investment for those marketing efforts, is my thought.
Right. So we have another question, which is around, they framed it as, all the major consulting firms and analysts have recommended business to create strategies and growth models around customer behavior and experience. So do you think AMCs are doing enough to make their business model more customer-centric? Also, what could be the possible challenges that mutual fund marketers face while moving from channel-centric to a customer-centric marketing mode?
Yeah, so when you talk about challenges, one is the I can say lack of a single customer view, the customer's interaction in silos, and the marketers are not able to use the available martech stack to the full potential, either because the stack is complicated or multiple software solutions that they have deployed are not interactive with each other. The fourth one is have a AI or ML powered software assist so that the marketer can optimize their choice to ensure maximum return to their investment on real-time basis.
I think that's very point blank answers, I think, for all the query that you have posed. I think that is exactly what it is.
So if you have any more questions, we can take that.
Ask the participants. Any questions from the participant?
Yeah, we have one question coming, is that this person already has a CRM. What incremental features that a CDP can give over a CRM?
Okay. So CRM is primarily, like I said, it's a first party customer relationship data management. So you have all the data about a customer who is investing in you. The example which I gave you during my presentation also, that I am already investing in an AMC with an equity scheme. Okay. I don't have any debt scheme. So where the system, like a CDP system, can enrich that information of CRM is that it would give you an insight as to Mr. Murali, is coming and looking for a debt scheme on your digital property, while he is already a member of equity scheme in your same AMC, but the AMC doesn't know that I'm looking for a debt scheme. So the CRM gives you the information of I'm an equity customer for you. So it gives you all the information about my name, all the personally identifiable information, but you don't know that I am actually looking at a debt scheme. So how will you know about it? Is that when a solution when a platform like customer data platform is implemented, it actually reads all the interaction data, puts it into your, like I said, it stores, it processes, and it enriches the data that you already have. Okay, the interaction data, and then gives you a specific micro segment that you have 40,000 customers, out of which 20,000 are equity based customers, but they are not debt based customers. So how about doing a campaign management for these 20,000 people is what is missing in a CRM. You cannot do with a CRM is this exactly, not able to reach out to these 20,000, that they are coming to your property, but they're not buying anything. So you don't know them. So this is where it enriches the data that you already have in CRM. So CRM is a pure transactional, your current relationship with the customer solution, whereas CDP gives you a better insight of the customer 360 by enriching the existing data, so that you can do a better campaign for selling any other new product launches that you have.
Yeah, so that's very interesting. So conclusively, what we can say is when a CDP is added over a CRM, what a marketer gets is those unseen intelligence, unseen insights into the customers that they possibly don't even know exist, right? And for all those who they know, they'll be getting new insights on how they behave, what else can we do. So the entire customer lifetime value can be increased when these insights are implemented, again, through the built-in campaign management modules that are possibly available within a CDP. So it just extrapolates those insights and multiplies the possible revenue potential for what a marketer can showcase. So that's very insightful. Thank you, Mr. Venkatgiri and Murali Krishna, for all those interesting, valuable tidbits that you brought for us. And thanks for your time. For all those who have been listening into this webinar, in case you have not noticed, the chat window has some interesting resources that we are publishing. So you can collect your resources specific to the mutual fund industry from the chat box here. As well as, please do stay tuned. You'll be getting an exclusive ebook, a 3-step process of how you can demystify the anonymous investors who are already in your data bank, and multiply it by 5x to be able to discover opportunities within those anonymous visitors, because we've already done this and we'll be happy to present those insights. And it's a simple 3-step process when technology is added to it. So stay tuned for the ebook. Thanks once again for participating, all of you from different mutual fund houses and AMCs. So we'll take leave, and any final thoughts, Mr. Venkatgiri and Murali, will be happy to hear you out.
So yeah, it was definitely an interesting discussion. But having said that, this is a journey which will mature over a period of time, and I see that coming very closely. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Venkatgiri. And from my side, yeah, first of all, I want to thank all the participants who have taken time out to attend the masterclass, and we would actually also like to hear from you. You can communicate with my team who have actually set this up, and I say that we are at the beginning and of a beautiful journey here on customer data platforms. I'm sure this would only add value to your business, and getting better insights into your customers to become more customer centric and increase the customer experience that you already are actually having. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.